What is Georgia going to look like without their best player? I talked on Monday about out pitches. Teams that have to play and win at the top of college football have to have an out pitch. Ohio State had Marvin Harrison Jr. last week. You get the sense that Michigan has J.J. McCarthy. You know that Georgia has Brock Bowers, but now that he is out, where do they go? Are they going to need something like that? It leads to the next question I have for this game. Which Georgia shows up? I think that that's a legitimate question. Which Georgia will we get against Florida? Now, you would imagine that they would be the engaged, dominant team that we saw against Kentucky. But you can't rule out that they are the sleepwalking team that we saw against South Carolina, stretches against Auburn, especially early in those games. Right? So, like, which one is it? This was the moment of the season last year where we saw them take off, saw them just remain dominant. After that, they kind of fumbled through that slow win against Missouri. Kirby came on and said, it's hard to win on the road in the SEC, as opposed to like anywhere else, like Utah, who's won 27 straight with fans in the stands. But I digress. That was the point where they started to take off. Now, Bowers was never hurt. They had an experienced quarterback. This is a different team. So now it's Carson Beck's team. He doesn't have Bowers. Where do they go? Where do they lean? Beck's been pretty good, by the way. If you look down, Carson Beck, you look at the numbers, he's averaging over 300 yards per game, 12 touchdowns. He has thrown a pick in each of his last 3. So that's just something to pay attention to. And then there's Florida, who lost, by the way, to said Utah team to start the year. And Florida quietly has gotten better and better. No one's been watching them because of what happened early. But now you look up and you're like, hold on a second. Did Graham Mertz really throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game against South Carolina and lead a 10-point fourth quarter rally? And you're like, is this the same Graham Mertz that I saw at Wisconsin? And you're like, yep, that's the case. Maybe Florida is turning a little bit of a corner. Florida has won 5 of 6 since that season opening loss to Utah. And the questions around Georgia are there. So now Georgia's favored by 14.5 against a team that's way more confident, knows who they are, has a quarterback that's playing their best football, and Georgia is going to go out there without Brock Bowers.